Trump is certainly high profile, but from a global perspective, his cooperation efforts haven't been impressive. At this rate, it's likely that Trump's first 100 days in office might result in nothing being changed or accomplished. This seems further and further away from the greatness he promised. And more critically, Trump doesn't have much time left. Hello, I'm Jeffrey and welcome to Just Spit Out as today, Mar 3/1/2025. I want to talk to you about Trump. He's in an awkward situation now. It's been over 2 months since Trump took office. So far, we can't say he's done nothing, but it seems like he hasn't really accomplished anything substantial. From the very beginning, he announced several high-profile goals, including annexing Canada, raising tariffs on many countries, and ending the Russia-Ukraine conflict. It seemed like he wanted quite a lot, but as of now, not a single one of those has been achieved. These three issues have widespread impact both internationally and domestically in America. The tariff hikes and the idea of annexing Canada were both initiatives Trump started, and he raised expectations for the world. However, we can't say it's a case of starting strong but ending weak. It's more like the progress hasn't gone as expected. Looking at all these matters together, if we consider them as part of a broader America strategy of contraction, with multiple fronts advancing simultaneously, it's fair to say things are not going well. In fact, none of these issues are proceeding in a way that aligns with U.S. expectations. Trump is loud and bold, but globally speaking, cooperation has been lacking. If things continue like this, Trump's first 100 days might end with no changes, no accomplishments. This seems to be drifting further away from the greatness he claimed. And the more important point is that time is running out for Trump. Everyone understands that Trump wants to do big things and that he wants to make America great again. This is somewhat understandable. He's nearly 80, and at that age, everyone says some crazy things, right? But the real problem now is that America, represented by Trump, has lost influence internationally. From imposing tariffs on Canada and Mexico to actively mediating the Russia-Ukraine conflict, these actions give many the impression that Trump is living in his own fantasy world. You can't say his actions don't have reasoning, but they don't follow the rules of the real world. Trump is guiding America policy using his own set of rules, disregarding the reactions of both opponents and allies. Frankly, many of Trump's ideas seem completely wishful thinking. It feels like Trump doesn't need to consider the interests and feelings of others. But the reality is quite the opposite. People are not very accepting of his actions. Take America mediating the Russia-Ukraine conflict, for example. Ukraine has completely ignored many of America's policy directives. In fact, Zelensky even went to the White House and had a heated argument with Trump and Vance. If Trump had the unquestionable authority he claims, this would never have happened. Instead, the ongoing dispute between Zelensky and Trump highlights the stark reality of this power gap. On one side, you have Trump's misguided confidence, and on the other, Zelensky's blatant disregard for Trump in the end. The pressure America exerted didn't work, and Ukraine didn't yield under extreme pressure. This situation naturally sent a message to the world. If Ukraine can say no to America's pressure, who else wouldn't? When Roosevelt took office, he introduced his 100 Days New Deal, a true political strategist. He implemented a series of reform measures aimed at breaking the existing interest structures. These were forceful moves meant to change the game. Trump also intended to introduce his own 100 Days agenda. Both internationally and domestically, he seemed to be making efforts, but the results were not satisfying. Trump, in general, chose to focus more on internal matters. Musk, as the head of the Government Efficiency Department, pushed for large-scale reforms across various departments, particularly through significant layoffs and cuts in government spending. From an internal America perspective, this was certainly upsetting to many. And at the same time, America compromised with Russia, its Western adversary. This naturally created a sense of betrayal among U.S. allies. So from these two moves, it seems that Trump was fighting on both the domestic and international fronts. If Trump didn't overestimate his own abilities, he likely overestimated America's strength. The reason Trump is pursuing strategic contraction is because America's strategic execution ability and international influence have fallen far short of the actual needs. Strategic contraction is essentially a forced choice. Historically, few people willingly choose to contract strategically. Most do so because their strength isn't enough to maintain their position. So, for America under Trump, what gives him the confidence to believe that America can still dominate the international stage? Trump positions himself as someone who will make America great again. In other words, The America that Trump has created now is one that is no longer great. Since it is no longer great, both his thinking and actions should match this new reality. Speak carefully and ask for help when necessary. Tasks need to be handled well, and sometimes that means lowering oneself and asking others for cooperation. You can't just think you're a big deal and expect things to work out. If what you do can't stand up to global standards, no one will respect you. If Trump continues down this path, it's likely that the awkwardness will fall on him in the end. Of course, unless he becomes embarrassed, Musk will be the one left with the awkwardness. That is all for this episode. Appreciate your listening. Love you guys. I'm Jeffrey. This is Just Spit Out. Just hit the subscription button down below for more unique observations. Shortly, I will see you guys next time.